Welcome into the Sports Buffoons Podcast. Oh, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on and back again to the Sports Buffoon Studios here at Lenexa, Kansas. Of course, we got the full clan with us today, which is great to see. Tanner's not even a little box on the screen like he is sometimes. He's actually here at the table with us, which is nice. So, anyways, I was stumbling my words a little bit there. Sometimes it gets hard. Like I feel like, some of those people that's out there just, but maybe I need to slow the pace a little bit.
Like an auctioneer almost?
The auctioneer people, yeah, one of those guys. Maybe I should slow the pace and say, yo, let's get it going out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world. Welcome on and back again to the Sports Buffoon Studios here at Lenexa, Kansas. That's a little better. Let's try
That's much better. That's much improved.
I get amped up, man. I get amped up. You know what else amps you up a little bit? A lot of times, a little extra caffeine sometimes in the evening will, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So anyways, how you guys doing?
I feel great. It's a great time in my life right now, except for the fact that the Chiefs are less than optimal right now. The Chiefs are actually a really, really great team that is underachieving. But outside of that, my life is fantastic, man. How you guys doing?
We're going to have plenty of time here to dive into the Chiefs, but I want to keep it at least somewhat lighthearted for the first couple of minutes with you guys, because I'm sure we're going to have some harsh things to talk about.
No, not at all, man. But no, I'm good here. So, we're cruising.
Tanner's got his Busch Light. I mean, what else can you want in your life? As long as you got a Busch Light, man, that's all you need.
Here's the thing. I'm so confused these days. I got disappointment in KU football. The best player in the freaking college basketball ranks isn't playing right now because of a hamstring all of a sudden, and we're losing games. We're competing, but we could use them. And the Chiefs aren't first place, so I don't know, man. It's confusing time right now for me.
Hey, we get to talk about a new AFC West division winner pretty soon, so that'll be something for us to discuss here shortly. But I guess before we get cracked into this, what are you guys sipping on?
Well, you know what? I haven't had a Buzzballs in like probably 6 months. So I had to crack out the Buzzballs, man. I know you guys are all
chalk teas. Is that what you got?
Yeah, you're used to me doing the non-alcoholic beers, and I'll bring it back next week. I'm normally, that's what I like, is the non-alcoholic beers, but yeah, we broke out the Buzzballs chalk teas, which is a great drink, man.
Yeah,
it actually tastes like chocolate milk, or
it is pretty good.
A mocha for all of you coffee fans out there.
Well, it's a lot of it's almost like a Kahlua drink almost in some ways, right?
Yeah,
something similar to that.
It's fantastic. Goes down smooth, and yeah. So it's a good day to be just having one of these Buzzballs, man.
And Tanner's got his Busch Light over there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
got a Busch Light, keeping it light. Nothing too heavy right now, so.
Now you gotta tell us, you were out of town recently, down in Wichita. So did you get to experience a nice brewery down there or no?
I went to River City, I believe it's called, down there, and it was decorated beyond decorated for Christmas, but it was a good brewery. It is a good brewery. So I did hit that. So, and I actually spent most of my time there. They had TV on, the Monday Night Football game. Bartender was cool. I had met a Wisconsin guy while I was there that actually worked for my company. So, it was pretty cool. It was a fun time. So, yes.
Good to know that there's some decent breweries in Wichita. That is nice to hear for sure.
There really is. Last time I was down there, there was an Irish one just under the bridge, not too far from me, where I got to meet the brewer and the owner, who was actually the bartender. It was not a micro, but Nano.
Oh, the
Nano brewery. And he was talking about how he never had anything the same. And
yeah, that's how Nano breweries work. Nanos are the most fun. Nanos are the ones that are constantly rotating. They don't have like a whole lot of staple beers, if any at all. Sometimes they'll have a base basically for certain beers that they create, like say a base malt for their stouts that they use, but they'll rotate the other ingredients and constantly have something new. So that my favorite brewery up there in Lincoln is actually is a Nano brewery as well. where they do a lot of just different beers every time. Because I get a little tired of the same old brewery thing where it's like you go to the brewery and they have the same 5, 6, 7 beers on tap every single time you go in. It gets really old. We're beer snobs, and so we like to mix it up and try different things. So
it's true. There is a couple I've been to out there that they serve some good stuff. So I've not been disappointed.
very nice. Will, I just got myself at the moment a little Jack and whoa over here, camera. Coke Zero, as usual. I tend to have these a lot of times on the shows. Keep me awake a little bit. I think there's a little bit of caffeine in these, just with the Coke Zero sugar on here. But the reason I bring that up, guys, is because today is actually National Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day, which I find to be very interesting because they, for some reason, have to have it carbonated beverage with caffeine, not just a caffeinated beverage altogether. So I guess most of your teas and things like that and coffee are out on this. So before we jump to Chiefs, guys, what is your number one carbonated beverage with caffeine you drink?
I feel like we talked about this maybe like 3 years ago on the show, maybe 2 years ago on the show. I don't have to think about the answer to this question. It's always Red Bull. And, I don't care if you want to mix it with something or if you just want to drink it straight. Red Bull will keep you awake and it will keep you satisfied because it tastes freaking amazing. So Red Bull is my favorite, by far, caffeinated beverage that's carbonated.
Dude, I gotta tell you, when I was in Las Vegas most recently, I didn't tell my parents this at the time. It was my last day there, and I just wanted a vodka Red Bull. It was kind of early in the day still. I just wanted something to get my energy up a little bit. I didn't have caffeine before that, and so I just walked up to this random bar at the Aria, thinking to myself, "Oh, it'll probably be like a $12, $15 drink, right?" And I get up there and I pay my tab. Well, the guy says, what did he say? Freaking $26 for a vodka Red Bull. I was like, well, I'm just gonna roll with it because that's all you can do in Vegas is fucking roll with it. So, anyways, paid that, and that was the most expensive drink I think I've paid for as a mixed drink ever. Now I've paid more than that for one beer, but as a mixed drink, I've never paid more than probably 18 or 19 bucks before.
But once again, boys and girls, we've talked about this before on the show. If you're going to have Red Bull and vodka in Las Vegas, that's why you want to become an elite table player. Because if you start playing these table games in Las Vegas, you're going to pay zero. You give them a $1 tip. Just give them a couple of bucks, man, out of your pocket, and they'll give you whatever you want. It might be a Patron. Whatever drink that you want. When you become an elite table player in Las Vegas, all your drinks are free. So that's why I talk about it, is because I don't want people to just like throw all their money away on these drinks because it's very expensive. But there's a way to give yourself a discount on that, so to speak.
Yeah. I would have had to have been actually sitting at a table for that to happen. Now, back in May when we went out to Vegas, I had my own personal servant, essentially, where literally every time my drink got low, they would just come back around. I had my own personal bathroom even at my table. It was incredible. It was an amazing experience, really. But let's just say that they knew what they were doing.
Bathrooms are nice.
I had my own personal bathroom at the tables in the high limit room.
Yeah, I did that too at the Bellagio.
That was pretty cool.
That was freaking amazing.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The whole thing is fun. But anyways, Tanner, what's your favorite caffeinated beverage?
I feel like that's a situational question because in the morning you have to have an orange energy drink, whatever it might be. I'm an Orange Monster guy. I've enjoyed it a lot more. So I like the Orange Monster, but one a day, no more than one a day. So you got the whole rest of the day to decide what you like. So my overall favorite caffeinated, carbonated beverage is a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Hey,
that's my spot.
Caffeinated.
And preferably actually the Dr. Pepper Zero. But I'll do a Diet Dr. Pepper. Whatever. Dr. Pepper period, like it's my favorite.
And what's interesting about that is that's what I grew up with, man. Well, like when I was a teenager, that's all my dad brought into the house was Diet Dr. Pepper. So I lived on that for a long time, and it tastes amazing. And
better than
you know,
anything.
you get the caffeine, you get whatever you want. But yeah, that was a great drink, man. I like your choice on that.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the bad news of the day or the show. Anyways, so the Chiefs now sit at 5-5 on the season. Not super ideal, of course. And hey, we all saw that there was a chance of this happening, of course. I mean, it's not like playing against Denver in Denver was going to be a guaranteed win for the Chiefs. This has not been a ideal start to the team whatsoever, and things are not playing out according to plan, according to the staff. I think there's a lot of blame to go around for what's going on currently with this roster, especially when you take into account the fact that offensively, this should be the best passing offense Mahomes has had since 2018. And it's still, we're having a hard time. We're having a hard time, despite the fact we got a decent pass blocking situation up front. And Kareem Hunt averaged almost 5 yards a carry against Denver. And yet we're still struggling in some ways offensively. Now, defensively is a whole other dynamic, but I think that we should definitely be harping on because, you know, this was a game where you probably had the win in the bag if you just take care of business on a 3rd and 15 and get pressure on Bo Nix. And instead, you just go ahead and let him sit back there all day and roll out and make a 20-yard pass to Cortland Sutton to convert on that play. You get a stop in that situation, then the Chiefs probably take control of the game at that point. But they had many opportunities throughout the fourth quarter to lock that game into place and get the win. And they decided to fiddle fuck around and not make it happen. So
don't let the offense don't take the offense away from a blame on this either. The play calling, 4th, 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. You could have utilized Kareem Hunt. What he does, that's the scenario. It's what he's done. He was averaging 5 against freaking Denver. And you pass the ball for nothing.
So at the end of the day, Tanner, exactly what you just said right there. I just alluded to the fact we have all this extra talent compared to previous years offensively. Kareem Hunt, although he's 30 years old, obviously not the most explosive running back anymore, still was getting the job done in a really good fashion for his age and just getting those 5-yard chunks that we need. This game, to me, came down to the coaching staff. At the end of the day, Andy Reid got beat, 100% got beat by Sean Payton. And at the end of the day, Steve Spagnuolo also got beat. His play calling there towards, especially in big moments, was not good enough. And you're not doing things you normally would do. You know, this is a team we know we cannot get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing. And you're going to rush 3 with a spy in a 3rd and 15. You're going to play Bob Sutton defense. You know what I mean? Seriously, you're playing Bob Sutton defense on 3rd and 15, and you're surprised that they convert. Where's Steve Spagnuolo? Where's Steve Spagnuolo going to blitz 6 guys or 7 guys and say, "All right, Bo, get the ball off. Let me see you convert this shit." Where's Steve Spagnuolo with that? Because that's the Steve Spagnuolo I know, is a guy that does that, and it's so weird. And you know, I'm never going to bash the guy too much because I'm never going to bash Steve Spagnuolo because at the end of the day, he is our best defensive coordinator in the history of this franchise. So, yeah, Steve does that all the time. 6, 7 guys on a blitz, all out blitz. Where was that in that situation on a 3rd and 15? And instead, you don't have a D line that can get pressure. You know George Karlaftis is very limited, along with Mike Dana and Charles Menahue. It's like they can't do shit, you know. And here we are in the situation. So, anyways, oh boy, I don't know. Is Hunter a teenager? I don't know. Okay. I didn't mean to make fun of him or anything, but I was just curious. Like the only person that would talk about 6, 7 guys blitzing was like,
swear to God. Hunter, come on.
Oh man, oh gosh. All right, well that's funny then. Well, anyways, guys, you get my point. My point is basically the Chiefs in this game in particular were once again outcoached, and they've been outcoached multiple times this season, which is why they're 5-5 on the year. So you know, we can look and blame Mahomes for having a couple of bad games or, you know, the turnovers or whatever. You can talk about Jawan Taylor once again with an illegal formation, which then led to that turnover by Mahomes. The ball was down to the 2-yard line, by the way, on that play. Kareem Hunt had caught a pass to get down to the 2-yard line, which we were about to punch in, called back on that Jawan Taylor illegal formation, which then led to the Mahomes interception there in that point in the game. So all these things, you know, add up to the fact that it's just like, why is everyone finding a way to fuck up? It's at different moments. You know what I mean? You know, the one true thing we've had to this point, Kareem Hunt still doesn't fumble. He literally never has ever since that first time, ever as a Chief. And so, you know, and I'll say that out loud right now and not worry about a jinx because he's done freaking awesome, you know, as far as in his role as a Chief. But anyways, guys, go ahead and let me know what you think about what happened there in this last game with the Chiefs and Broncos. But I'm more pissed off right now at the coaching staff than I am at the players, but I am pissed off at certain players.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you guys went first because I took a lot of notes here and I had something prepared that I was going to share with you guys, and I still will do that. But I'm not even going to look at my notes right now because the first thing that comes to my mind is Juwan Taylor. And we were told by Matt Nagy in September that this was an issue that was going to be fixed. And we were told that Juwan Taylor knows the mistakes that he's making, and there are going to be corrections coming soon. So my biggest issue with this team right now is the fact that Juwan Taylor is not on the bench. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because if you don't put Juwan Taylor on the bench for this next upcoming game, you're not only throwing the next game against the Colts, you're throwing the whole season, man. Because you guys have been telling us this. Matt Nagy, whoever the heck you want to throw out there, man. You've been telling us for, I don't know how many, 12 months, 18 months, I don't know how long it's been going on. And you fooled us into believing that Juwan Taylor was going to correct his issue with his penalties. Why should I believe you right now? And I don't. And if you don't throw his ass on the bench in this next game, I'm going to stop watching the games because you are throwing. If you don't put him on the bench, you are throwing these games. And you guys, Tanner, you're laughing right now. But how freaking long have we been talking about this one mother fricker, for lack of a better word?
3 years.
How long have we been talking about this guy?
3 years.
Why do I sit here and still watch these games? If you're going to throw the game, if you want to throw the game, you want to throw this next season, please put Juwan Taylor back on the field. Make him a starter for the rest of the season. And, yeah, we can go from there. You know, if we're talking about the rest of the team, everybody knows, dude. Everybody knows about the D-line, the lack of Andy Reid's willingness to run the football. We know he doesn't want to run the ball. That's fine. Whatever, man. But we got to get Juwan Taylor off the field. Period. End of story. Because these small penalties make a difference. Okay? We're competitive. We are competitive in all of these games. Okay? And we were successful in the past couple of years at these close games where we could be competitive and actually win the games. It's not happening right now. So we're having a negative regression. And people always ask me, well, what do we need to do to get back to a positive regression in these close games? Well, that's your answer. I just gave it to you. Okay? You're going to take Juwan Taylor off the field, and you're not going to allow him to fuck it up. So, and we're going to go around and around, and I can sit here all day long. We can sit here all day long and talk about the D-line, and Andy Reid doesn't want to run the ball and all this BS. Okay? But if you're going to get me into a situation where I can score and Juwan Taylor is going to commit a penalty, then what are we really talking about here? What's the point? All these people are sitting here talking, well, you know, the Chiefs could have a down year and, you know, maybe we'll back into a 7 seed. Maybe we'll back into a 6 seed. I'm telling you right now, boys, that this season is over. It's done. Stop watching the games because I'm not here for a 6 or a 7 seed. Because you know what's going to happen if we slide into that 6 and 7 seed? We're going to, if we get lucky, which is a long shot, we're going to lose. Well, we might win that game. We're going to win that first freaking game as a 6 or a 7 seed. And then everybody's going to get their freaking hopes up and be like, oh, freaking A, The Chiefs are back. Look at us, man. Mahomes is going to go all the way. And then you know what's going to happen after that? Jawan Taylor, one freaking guy is going to mess it up. We're going to lose. And why am I sitting here? I don't want to see it, man. So if we end up being a 6 or a 7 seed, I'm not going to watch the game, dude. I promise you right now, I'm not going to watch the game unless we get Jawan Taylor off of the freaking field. I'm done.
Now, hold on. Are you saying you're
I'm
done?
done with it.
You're saying that you think this season's over with if Jawan Taylor is on the field again against the Colts
What's
this
the
Sunday?
point? What's the point? Do you want to sit there and watch the Chiefs after what we've accomplished over the last 4 or 5 years? Do you want to sit there and watch that? Do you want to see us back into the 7 or the 6 seed? And then we win one? Do you want to see the Chiefs win one playoff game and then not make it to the AFC Championship? Now, I'll give you an example. If I'm a Broncos fan, if I'm like I don't know, give me some examples, guys. If I'm a team that has not made it to the playoffs for the past couple of years,
I mean,
and I back into the 6
Panthers,
or the 7 seed,
or whatever.
If I get lucky and I get a playoff berth as a 6 or 7 seed, a lot of different teams. There's so many teams out there that if I was a fan base of that organization, I would love to watch it. If I was a Broncos fan,
they don't have the same standard we do. Our loss of a season is not making the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So as a Chiefs fan, as a 6 or a 7 seed, I don't want to see it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
because you already know what's going to happen.
Well, you're right.
You already know what's going to happen. We're going to get screwed, and then you're going to be depressed. You personally,
no,
I know.
No,
well, you may not be.
I've been through a lot
but
worse.
I know a lot of Chiefs fans that are out there. They're going to be freaking depressed because we've been on this high for so many years, and then the Chiefs fans are going to be depressed, and I'm not here for it, man.
Oh, I'm not here for it. I want to
it.
make it known a year like this, if the Chiefs were to mess around and somehow miss the playoffs, it does not mean necessarily that the dynasty is over. There's still a lot of time to work with this certain situation we have at quarterback, coaching wise. Hopefully Spagnuolo would stick around. As much as I didn't like what he did this past game, he's still the best of all time for this organization.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to let you go next, but I hope, for God's sakes, that they do not make the playoffs. That would be the best thing that could happen to this organization, because it would tell Brett Veach that he is an absolute failure. And I hope that's what happened. The worst thing that could happen to the Chiefs right now is that they back into that 6 or 7 seed and they think, oh, well, yeah, we're not doing too bad. We need absolute failure, because I'm not going to watch the games.
Well, a lot of players right now still have their hopes up. Chris Jones has his hopes up. He's made a post on Instagram basically just alluding to the fact, the current situation and that people acting like we're out of it or whatever. It was a subliminal message essentially on his Instagram post. And basically he's still trying to hold faith. Travis Kelce's still holding faith based on what he said on New Heights, which, as a player of their team, you should, that's what you expect. You can't walk in there as a leader of an organization like this, as a player like a Kelce or Chris Jones even, and say, oh, ho hum, well, I guess we'll try again next year. It's like, no, you're still living in the moment. You're 10 games into this in a 17-game season, and you still have a lot of fight to give, at this point in the year. So still a long ways to go. It's still 7 whole games left at least for this team. So anyways, so Tanner has not said anything yet. So Tanner, I got to let you go before I say the next thing.
I was going to rebuttal you, dude.
It's my turn after that.
You talked about Taylor. Like, I get Jalen Moore, that we signed Jalen Moore and all that stuff, but Taylor's still the better right tackle right now.
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
I don't care.
I do. I know Mahomes does.
I don't know that Mahomes does. I don't know if he can throw that out there.
Just let us win Thanksgiving.
I don't know if you can say that.
Well, no, I think Taylor's. I mean, I was his first penalty in 4 weeks, so it is what it is. It depends on the ref crew in the end too. So
yeah, well, that ref crew in particular was very flag
holy
happy.
cow!
I mean, it was every freaking play. It seemed like there was a flag coming out, so that was obnoxious.
That was very annoying. I was more. I don't even care who was on. I was just like, why?
There was a lot of holding penalties that didn't look right, and it was just the referee was very flag happy. I think the Broncos had well over 100 yards penalty wise. Chiefs had almost 100 yards penalty wise. And it was just like the timing and everything. It was a disaster no matter what. The referees were trying to control the game in a lot of ways. And the fact that
But we
Juwan
knew
Taylor,
that though. We knew that going into the game.
Sure, Juwan Taylor, what he committed was a correct call. He was not lined up on the line of scrimmage correctly on that specific play. And so, yes, he was called for illegal formation for being too far off, which has been his MO literally since day one of being a Chief. And he's been talked to by the coaching staff multiple times, and yet never learns his lesson, yet we never do anything about it. And we have Jalen Moore.
I don't think it's a solution.
We have Jalen Moore on this roster who I think could play right tackle and replace Juwan Taylor, but we have not tried to make that move happen yet, even though I think it could work.
Are we going to try it against the Colts?
I don't
when
know.
you're 5-5,
you got nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. What are you going to lose?
I'm fine with it. Try it.
Playoff spot.
You got nothing to lose, man.
As long as Moore is healthy, try it. I have no problem with that.
I don't like making that kind of change at 5-5.
I'm cool with it.
With games to go that are winning.
You have a hindrance on your roster that is consistently. First of all, he's a decent pass blocker, but not a good run blocker. Where Jalen Moore is a good run blocker and was a serviceable pass blocker at left tackle. Doesn't commit the same penalties that
get him off the field.
He's not going to have an illegal formation. Jalen Moore is not going to get you for illegal formation at any point in the game. It's not the same kind of setup he has.
I'm done with it.
I don't think it's. I'm not taking that one.
Ultimately, that might be the goal, guys. Jalen Moore was signed to a 2-year contract, and Juwan Taylor's gone after this year. So Moore might end up being the right tackle anyway. Obviously, while Josh Simmons is their left tackle.
But when do you make the switch though?
I would do it now.
Because you're saying do it now. So
if we think he can be a right tackle.
Everybody knows we have to win the Colts game. So I would agree with you.
You got to win almost every game.
You do. Yeah, we're going to talk about the schedule later, but I agree with you, Mike. I think you do it now.
You have to do it now.
I'd wait until
you have nothing to lose.
Out of reach. Until you're out of reach.
Tanner thinks we wait till it's too late.
There's nothing to lose.
I think there is something to lose with Taylor.
What are you going to lose by making a change like that, Tanner?
Potentially your right tackle safety side, like the safeness for Mahomes.
Is he?
Taylor hasn't been bad, has he? Have we complained about Taylor outside of penalties? No.
You can't win games.
We haven't.
You're never going to win a game.
Those situations, though,
you can protect as much as you want. What's the goal of protecting the quarterback? Is it so you can create penalties and lose the game?
No, but you're also a hindrance to the team at that point. You're hurting the entire team. You get a 20-yard play downfield, and then Juwan Taylor has this penalty every time.
I don't care if you protect Mahomes. If you're going to lose games, who gives a shit?
Yeah, and Jalen Moore did a good job, like I said, to begin with, at his position.
Yeah, tackle. We don't know about right tackle. You're going to throw him against the Colts team that's been high-powered.
We can use your theory. Why don't we use your theory, Tanner? We'll just leave his ass in there, and when we lose the Colts game, then nobody's going to give a shit, and we'll just put a bunch of backups in there.
Then you throw in what could work, and then you see what you have for next season. So I don't think you mess around with that kind of chemistry.
I think it comes down to this game. The Colts game is
extremely important. Well, we can't screw it up. We got to do the right thing.
You don't make the change.
You guys had a lot to say about Juwan Taylor just now. So
there's nothing else to say about Juwan Taylor. Though.
What more do you guys have to say about the coaching situation, along with the fact the defense is not living up to what they were a year ago, where they were making plays in big moments? That's no longer the case. This team is not making plays in big moments anymore, offensively or defensively, and a lot of it has to do, to me, with coaching situations and putting players in the best position to succeed on big moment situations.
Yeah, well,
that's what it is. It's
number one, I think that Chris Jones is washed.
Yeah, he is.
So that's your biggest point right there. And in terms of coaching, Andy Reid apparently lost the ability to call running plays.
Well,
so he doesn't want to run the ball.
To a degree, that's always been the case.
He doesn't want to run the ball. So at some point, you have to make an adjustment. Even if you're a 3-time Super Bowl champion, at some point, you still have to make adjustments, and you have to be willing to run the ball. So for me, Andy Reid, just, he's got to – you can't just sit there and throw the ball all day long and expect to make it back to the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen.
There was someone on the radio alluding to the idea that because the Chiefs have so much talent now at wide receiver, that it makes it harder for the team to just accept running the ball, knowing you're not going to have an explosive play, with our current running back situation. And so I think it was actually Nate Taylor is actually who brought this up. This was his theory, I think, was that the Chiefs have a harder time right now committing to the run than ever because they feel like the short passing game, you might as well just call that and see if someone can get a breakaway play compared to just handing the ball off to Kareem Hunt up the middle with your, let's say, highest paid O-line in the league. It just freaking Creed and Trey and Kingsley doing the push up front and getting your 5-6 yards, 6-7 yards you need. So,
hey, look, man, if you just want to sit there and throw the ball, do that shit in the playoffs, okay? All right. If you get lucky enough, Andy Reid, to actually make it to the playoffs this year, you can do your pass bullshit, okay? You can do that the whole time. I don't care. But in order to get to the playoffs, you might want to just start running the ball, okay? Because if you don't commit to the running game, guess what? You're not going to make it to the playoffs, and nobody's going to give a shit about this whole freaking conversation. If you want to switch off of that and you want to pull some trick plays and just throw the ball on 100% of the downs, hey, man, I'm here for it. I'll actually watch the games. I'll take back what I said earlier about me not watching the playoff games. If you want to throw the ball every single down in the playoffs, do it. I don't care. But if you're gonna do this BS for the rest of the regular season, I'm not watching the games. Just run the freaking ball. I don't care if you think Kareem Hunt's wheels are gonna fall off. I don't care. He's what you got. Just use him. Use him, man.
Yeah, I
Run the wheels off of that motherfucker.
Can I throw a theory out for you guys?
Go for it.
Are we seeing this year the what do they call it? The fatigue of success
Possibly
over the last 6 to 7 years?
No, 100%. That's a really possibility. I think. Well, also, okay, it's a fatigue of success. It's a fatigue of success, but it's also, I think, Andy Reid has become very complacent with the way he calls games and is comfortable with the way he calls games because it's worked for now quite a while. Whereas when we had Alex Smith and the offense was not always up to par, listen real quick. When we had Alex Smith and the offense was struggling at times and it was not always up to par, we would bring in consultants. We had Brad Childress at one point come in as an assistant coach to help with the offense. We also had Chris Alt, who helped the Chiefs develop their own pistol offense with Alex Smith during that time period. And so we were trying to have different ideas brought to the team to create new strategies and new schemes to help Alex Smith, to help that offense at the time, which was very average to above average. Well, we had a good defense, guys. We had a good defense in 2015 and so on. We had still Justin Houston and Tom Bahali, Derek Johnson was around, and Eric Berry. All those kind of guys, were still hanging around. And the offense was the problem for a bit. We could not make plays when they mattered. And so we were bringing in new mindsets and new ideas. Whereas the last few years, it's been very stagnant. It's the same old guys coming in with the same old approach over and over again the last few years. Where is the new mentality? Where is the new ideas coming from to try to throw other teams off guard? We're hearing people like Hairston, who's a rookie, by the way, talk about Xavier Worthy. The way he's lining up is giving a tip-off. We're talking about Chris Jones, who told the media that Bo Nix was literally calling out their defensive scheme before it happened on that 3rd and 15. Teams know what the hell we're doing now. It's so obvious to the rest of the NFL what we're doing on a play-by-play basis. Why are the Chiefs not finding a way to be more creative and bring somebody into this organization that can help us open up our minds a little bit, You know
what I'm going to say. Can I get a shout out to Eric Bieniemy?
Was he really that bad?
We're not bringing Bieniemy back, dude.
Was he really that bad, dude? Really?
I don't.
Yeah, you didn't like him.
Well, there's a reason for that, but we're not going to get into that.
I don't know what you guys are talking about right now.
How long ago did we lose Alex Smith? That's Hunter's question. Do you know, Jason, how long ago since Alex Smith left?
2015 or 2016.
How many years ago was that?
Well, how many years? No, how many
years? A decade ago.
No, how many years ago? When did Alex Smith have to leave the Chiefs?
It was a decade ago, man.
All right, whatever. Well, it almost worked, Hunter. Don't worry.
If you, the decade is the same as 8 years. It's the same freaking thing, man.
No, I know. Hunter was trying to get you on one, but you missed it. But Anyways, guys, do you have anything else to follow up with kind of my thought process on what's going on right now with the team? And I do believe in that fatigue idea.
Yeah, I want to talk about the remaining schedule because you have all these people out here saying, well, oh my goodness, the Chiefs' schedule is so easy. Like, it's just a cakewalk into the playoffs. I'm like, dude, it's really not. I mean, if you somehow lose to the Colts, yeah, you can beat the Titans, Raiders, and Texans, but where is that ultimately going to get you? That's going to get you 3 wins and a spot in the toilet bowl, which is never going to happen. You got to go against the Colts, Cowboys, Chargers, and Broncos again. All 4 of those teams can actually beat you easily. And that's why I've been telling you guys that the Chiefs are done. Like they're either done or they'll make the playoffs and disappoint every single one of you motherfuckers.
Because you're not getting a pass rush. At the end of the day, you're not going to create a pass
Who cares?
rush.
I don't care if I beat the Texans. Do either of you guys really care if we beat the Texans, Titans, and Raiders, but we lose to like the Colts or the Broncos or the Chargers or the Cowboys? Nobody freaking cares, man. I don't care.
No, I mean,
I don't want to sit there and watch. My point to you, Mike, and I think you probably agree with me. You don't want to see the Chiefs back into a 7 or a 6 seed and get their ass kicked.
No, at this point,
nobody
the
wants
way
to see that.
the way we as an organization will make change towards getting a more creative mindsets here at the organization again, especially offensively, will have to come from having a bad year where we don't make the playoffs at all. If you make the playoffs as a 7 seed or whatever the case may be, then if you say we win a game, so you win the wild card, then go to the divisional, then they're going to say, okay, well,
Beach actually did a pretty good job.
It wasn't ideal, but
he was actually shitty as hell.
We'll get back together and we'll recalibrate and yada yada. But you're not going to find a new face. We need a new face to come into the building to try to say, hey, this is what everyone in the entire NFL is seeing. Why cannot you see it? That now you've been figured out. You've been had at this point. Everyone spent their entire offseason in the last 5 fucking years watching you on tape, and you're doing the same bullshit as ever before. Wake up, Andy. Wake your mind up.
I feel like you dislike Veach more than I dislike Veach because
not the biggest fan in the world. He's had a couple of good draft classes, but overall, the core of this team that has created this dynasty between Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and Travis Kelce were all John Dorsey draft picks. Yeah. And I don't want to hear a fucking word from people out there about how, it was Brett Veach's guy. That's a good little story. But at the end of the day, it goes down in your name. And if Patrick Mahomes was a failure and he was a bust in this league, guess whose name would have been on that block? It would have been John Dorsey. They would have said John Dorsey picked a bust. They would not have said Brett Veach did. They put the blame on John Dorsey if Patrick Mahomes was a bust. But because Patrick Mahomes was a success and a future Hall of Famer, all of a sudden it's Brett Veach's guy, and John Dorsey had nothing fucking to do with it.
Credit,
so fuck that narrative. I hate that shit. And so yes, I'm not the biggest fan of the way it's been gone down, and the fact that John Dorsey was fired because salary cap issues. Meanwhile, here we are as a team right now, can't even make a goddamn trade because we're worried about salary cap problems. Of course. So you're telling me we fired a guy because of salary cap problems, but we're holding on to the current GM, Brett Veach, who has missed on every defensive lineman he's ever taken to this point, as far as based on where he was selected compared to where he should have been, drafted at some point later in the draft, or just straight up bust like FAU, for instance. We have all this to look at. Yes, he's done good with the cornerbacks. I get that. Okay. But Brett Veach is not your freaking savior. Brett Veach is not the greatest GM of all time, like some people want to act. And so, yes, I do get irritated with the love some people want to pretend to create about Brett Veach. But at the end of the day, the core of this team that has got us to where we are currently was still, right now to this very day, based on John Dorsey's draft picks.
And Brett Veach, to be fair, drafted Sky Moore. But Tanner, I want to get your opinion on this because Brett Veach has gotten a lot of credit for a lot of things, and he probably is going to be around for a long freaking time because you know why? The dude won a lot. He won a lot of Super Bowls. Okay, so it's going to be a long time before somebody tries to fire that guy. So what do you think about Brett Veach? Because if I tried to fire, if I was the owner of the Chiefs and I tried to fire him, we're 5 years out, man. It's not going to happen. So what are your thoughts about Brett Veach? Because I have mixed opinions, and I think he's got all these complimentary pieces that he drafted. Guys like Sky Moore, which we all love. So what are your thoughts on that guy?
I don't hate Brett Veach. I think he does focus into the area sometimes where it's needed, like the O-line, right? So after the 20 Super Bowl, Tampa Bay Super Bowl,
As we needed to.
what did he do?
You had no
he went
choice
out,
but to go fix that O-line, Tanner.
but he waits till that point. That's the issue. That's the issue I have.
You
with
wait
that.
till he sees the issue, then fix it. Same with
Yeah.
wide receiver.
Could I have
Similar thing.
Could I have hired a monkey?
to fix the Chiefs O line?
No,
Yes.
because,
I mean, at the end of the day,
no,
It
because
was obvious.
go look at what the Las Vegas Raiders have done and Tennessee Titans and all these guys.
Well, they have a lesser
No, but-
monkey.
Could I have a
But
hire?
I will
a
say that
smarter
Super
monkey.
Bowl in particular, you saw the Buccaneers defensive line completely decimate our backups. We had no depth whatsoever. I mean, it was a bunch of XFL players on our O-line in that situation at that point. I mean, they had no business even playing in that game. Now, we got Creed Humphrey, got Trey Smith, and so, yes, those were great additions, and then, eventually added Jawan Taylor and so on. But, at the end of the day, yeah, like Jason said, could you have had a monkey do that? Like, no crap, we need to fix the O-line. But he had 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage of scrambling yards, Tanner, in that game. 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage of scrambling yards, and still made some of the most amazing throws we've ever seen to this day that were dropped
It's a
by
step
Darrell
up.
Williams.
It's a step up from what the Colts did with Andrew Luck back in the day. The Colts just said, well, you know what? We don't really need an O-line. Whereas Brad Veach was like, well, maybe we should think about getting an O-line, dude. Well, that's you're a slight step up from what the Colts did with Andrew Luck. Congratulations. You're better than what the hell they did. That doesn't make you an elite general manager. It just means you paid attention to all the monkeys that freaking tell you what you should probably be doing, man.
But it's not saying elite. I'm saying he does address the issue. It might be
Mediocre.
What is
Is he
others?
average?
This is the same GM, by the way, that went ahead and released Derek Nottie and Mike Pennell, but then traded a 6th-round pick back to get Derek Nottie on the team. And then Mike Pennell go ahead and, once he got cut by the Bengals, let's bring him back. Why did you release them to begin with, you idiot? You had a defensive tackle situation where Jerry fucking Tillery is your number 2 D tackle, and he sucks ass. He's been a journeyman D tackle, 1st-round bust, who has no business in the league anymore. And yet you went into this season as a GM going, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with not that Derek Nottie's good, but you wanted him back enough to give up a 6th-round pick, and I know it was a pick swap. But at the end of the day, why would you let them go to begin with? Why were you you just don't know what you're doing, and especially with the D line. At cornerback, yes, he's done a great job. 2022 draft class is going to go down as one of the better ones in Chiefs history. Absolutely. There's a lot of great role players, guys who've been on this team for a long time, and just solid players across the board that were a part of that class. Now we're slowly going to start dwindling away because, we're starting to come up on the re-signing period and everything's contracts coming up. But at the end of the day, man, why is the defensive line so hard for you to figure out as a GM? Because the picks he's made at D-line are why 3rd and 15 comes along and you just can't rush the passer whatsoever with your front. So those situations come up and hurt you later on as time goes on because you can't draft defensive linemen at all. None of them.
I'll tell you the biggest problem right now is that they gave Chris Jones I like to call it the Kobe Bryant contract. The Lakers gave Kobe Bryant a contract after he had already served his term. He's delivered all those freaking championships. And then, Kobe Bryant he started to go way downhill. But the Lakers wanted to reward him for all of his accomplishments. And that's exactly what the Chiefs did with the Chris Jones contract. They rewarded him because we won Super Bowls. And that's the worst thing that you can do as a GM is become emotional. And I have nothing against what the Lakers did with Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. They gave him his contract after the fact when he delivered all those championships. But the Chiefs did the same thing with Chris Jones, and it's a disaster, man. It's a freaking disaster. I understand why you want to reward players that take you to the promised land. I get it, man. Everybody gets emotional, even me. The JG gets emotional.
Yeah,
every
paying
once
for
in a while.
past performance is
But,
not always a great idea to
that's
go
like,
about.
that was the worst thing you could have freaking done. And now we've rewarded Chris Jones, and now he sucks. So, well, what are we going to do here? You're not going to do anything. You're probably going to miss the playoffs, or you're not going to be able to rest the quarterback, even if you do make the playoffs.
So it's a freaking disaster, man. And
Did you just compare Chris Jones to Kobe Bryant? Is that what I'm listening
mean,
to right
yeah,
now?
To a
I
degree.
did it.
Unreal.
I did that
Unreal.
exact thing.
You're lucky
because-
I'm not on my
There-
regular mic, dude.
Let me explain it to you a little bit deeper, okay? There was no reason for us to pay Chris Jones. We should have traded Chris Jones and gotten some value.
I mean, when he was sitting and pouting, you might as well gotten your value out of
the
him.
Lakers could have done the same thing with Kobe Bryant when he was old, okay? But they made a different decision. They said, no, you've given so much to this organization. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Chris Jones didn't pour his heart out for the Chiefs organization.
Yeah, in
That's
his
not what I'm
youth,
trying to say.
he was amazing.
He was amazing. But the worst thing you can do as a GM is try to reward him for that after the fact, give him a roster spot, and screw your entire organization for the next 2 to 3 years or whatever the heck they're doing right now, dude. He's not the same guy. He's different, and much the same way that Kobe Bryant was a different guy after he won 5 championships for the Lakers. He was not the same, but they rewarded him anyway. And that's what the Chiefs did to Chris Jones. And I'm going to tell you right now is that it was a mistake, but I understand why they did it. Okay. I get it. You want to reward your guys. I understand it. But if you're Brett Veach, you also have to acknowledge at the same time, you made a mistake. You did the wrong thing for the organization.
Well,
you did the right thing for the guy. You did the right thing for Chris Jones, but you did the wrong thing for the Chiefs.
The difference between the Chiefs dynasty and the Patriots dynasty was the Patriots were always one step ahead of getting rid of players.
Yeah.
And so Richard Seymour, for instance, was a guy who was still in his prime, and they shipped his ass off to Oakland for the Raiders. And, they didn't give a crap. And he went to the Raiders, and, of course, like all Raiders, became a piece of shit. And so, it's like they were ahead of that, though. And, they would ship off players who were supposedly at their prime, but they wouldn't pay them. The Patriots wouldn't pay them because they were just ready to rotate. Give me the youth, keep the youth coming, draft well, and, keep your core pieces, of course, during certain time periods. But at the end of the day, all that mattered was you had Tom Brady and protected him. Matt Light was a great left tackle for the Patriots throughout that entire first tenure, the first 10 years of Tom Brady's career. And you had that core at least. You had, the idea of this, you had the system. You have Kevin Falk in there at the time, who was your ultimate check down running back, for every receiving situation, which evolved into Danny Woodhead and James White and so on and so on. You had your system in place. It seems like to me, the Chiefs don't have a proper system. Corey Dillon, by the way, for a bit there with the Patriots too. You don't have your proper system with the Chiefs for what works, because every year you go into it trying to force new things to happen and make them happen just by circumstance. And this year, the emphasis is obviously downfield passing, which is fine to a degree. I understand that. I want that too with this team. But how are you going to force downfield passing when you had a chance to go, let's say, get Breece Hall, and you didn't want to give up a 3rd-round pick to get him? And, your running game, as you know, is limited. Kareem Hunt can get you, 4 yards a carry most of the time, but those are often in situations where the linebackers are backed off a little bit, where you had a running back that could pull up those safeties, pull up the linebackers and all that, but you decided not to worry about it.
I think they gave up, man. I think they gave up because as much as you and I wanted that Breece Hall trade to happen, I just think they looked at the pass rush and they're just like, man, we can't get to the quarterback anyway, so why would I give up a 3rd-round pick for Breece Hall? We can't even get to the quarterback. We're not going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you're also not going to be able to have a proper downfield passing game without the proper play action to make it happen. If you can't run play action because the other opposing team doesn't respect your run game, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
You're just wasting time. It's nonsense. And I think it's a philosophical failure in a lot of ways, in complacency by Andy Reid's staff. And so that's the way I look at this current situation. Is there's a lot of complacency within this current organization based on the fact we've had a dynasty and it's been working, but we're not making anything to make it better. We're not doing things to improve on the current situation from a philosophical and environmental standpoint with the team currently where we stand.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about the remaining schedule? Because I personally think if we can beat the Colts, that we can possibly run the table. I'm not telling you that's going to happen, because I personally think they're going to drop 2 more games after that. And that's why I'm telling you I'm giving up right now.
What 2 games do you think they're going to drop?
I think if they lose to the Colts, okay, if we beat the Colts, that's a different story.
So we beat the Colts.
Okay,
Who
you're
do we
saying we
lose
beat
to?
the Colts. I think we're going to lose to the Broncos again. I think we're going to lose the Cowboys. I think we're going to lose, probably not to the Chargers, but I think if we beat the Colts, we're going to lose.
Did it last year, dude.
2 more games, Cowboys and Broncos.
I think the Cowboys could be sneaky against the Chiefs. I could see them putting up a good fight to where if we give Dak too much time in the pocket, they could
put
make
up
a problem.
points.
Hey, Pickens
They put up points.
Pickens is
What do
playing
you gotta
really
do?
well this year. Keep that in mind. I could see the Cowboys being a team that you normally would take care of, but in this case, I could see the Chiefs finding a way to mess that
So
up.
you're saying that Pickens has had a good season.
Yeah.
What happened with him at the casino the other night? Was he at that
Well,
event with,
from what I understand,
what's his nuts? CD Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb and him were in Vegas having a little party the night before the game. They were up to like 7:30 a.m. apparently. Something at least that one. So then they slept all day and then got ready for the game, I guess.
Do they have a 4-5 record?
I don't know.
So we need to
man.
dig into this a little bit.
It's got to be
deeper,
more than
because
that.
When you have a 4-5 record, we should be talking about what the hell they're doing at the Red Rock in Las Vegas.
Well,
Alan knows. Alan's a Cowboys fan. He'll tell us here.
Alan can tell us about that situation.
I want to know what game they were
Right.
playing. They were playing blackjack, man, which is a horrible game to be playing. But I want to know what they were doing, man. And I want to know why CeeDee Lamb threw up in public. Like, that doesn't make any sense, man. Does that happen at the hotel or did that happen at the casino? Did he do that on the casino floor?
Yeah, they were benched the first series of the game. That's their punishment.
So he threw up on the casino floor at the Red Rock. That's
Yeah.
insane.
At 7:30 a.m.
I wish I could have been there, because I would have asked him for his autograph, and then I would have sold it for not a whole lot of money, because he's not like, he's a good player. He's not a great player, but
Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So guys, we could talk about that here in a minute too if you want. But what was back to your main topic about the Chiefs' losses, as far as, because the Chiefs cannot afford to lose 2 more games. If they lose 2 more games, I think the season's over.
yeah,
They could
I think they will.
They could lose 1 more game, but 2 more games.
Yeah,
over.
so I think if you just take, and Tanner, I want you to talk about this after me, but if you just take the Colts, Cowboys, Chargers, and Broncos, I think they're going to lose 2 of those games, 2 out of those 4.
If I had to select 2 of those teams, it'd be the Chargers and Broncos. Division gives you the most division gives you the most issues.
I do want to say Sean Payton, since he's been a coach of the Broncos now, I know 1 game doesn't really count, but he's had Andy Reid's number in this situation, and then the Chargers situation, we saw how well they played, and they caught Steve Spagnuolo off guard in that Week 1 matchup, and so who's to say they can't do it again? I think we're starting to see some other coaches come into this division. Unfortunately, Pete Carroll's just a little too old and too late for battling with Andy Reid, but but I think Harbaugh's done a really good job with the Chargers, and I think that of course there with Denver, Sean Payton's done a great job, as I knew he would. I knew he would at some point, but it's been that. I agree with Tanner. If the Chiefs are going to lose 2 more games, I would unfortunately see it be in a divisional matchup both times, and that would be a really shitty way to be knocked out.
It would be.
But again, I would rather see that. I would rather just not make the playoffs than to have to sit there and watch a pathetic 6 or 7 seed. Just
No, I want to make
really
it.
feel
I mean,
bad.
you never know until you get a chance. We've seen 6, 7 seeds go. So
Yeah.
we haven't had really a true.
There was a
road
year,
test,
I think it was like 04 Steelers or something like that. They were the last seed. They were the 6th seed at the time, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. I mean, that's very possible. But
It's just a matter about getting in.
But at the same time,
6-7 for sure.
Extremely rare.
if we
What
want,
happened to the Steelers?
if we
was
want
extremely
change
rare.
with this team whatsoever, or something to help us mix it up a bit, then I think a real punishment would be missing the playoffs altogether, and that would force the team to
Yeah.
make changes.
It's the only way you're going to fix anything.
And quite frankly, I bet you go back in history, you could probably count 6 to 7 teams that were in the 6-7 seed that went to the Super Bowl. So
No, but they didn't win, though. They didn't win. It's like having one time where they make the Super Bowl. It happened another time where they won the
you
Super
sound
Bowl.
like Bengals fans, all right?
One time.
You sound like Bengals fans. Yeah, no.
Well,
we're not going to win anyway.
The
so
Bengals
what's the
are,
point?
yeah, I think that's probably a bad comparison to compare the Chiefs to the Bengals. But
No, but that's
No,
no. I'm
they
not
did beat
comparing
us.
the Chiefs
I'll give you credit for that. Joe Burrow beat our ass that one.
like 6-7 years ago, dude.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. He did beat
All
our ass
right.
one time, but who
You
gives a
guys are
shit?
being
Nobody
goofy.
gives a shit.
You guys are being goofy. We got to move on. All right, so
Well, that's because the Chiefs are being goofy.
no, I know.
If the Chiefs would stop being goofy, then I would stop being goofy.
All right, let's keep this short and simple.
All right, dude.
Now, we've done a lot of Chiefs talk, obviously, about the current situation.
That's all I care about is the
Um,
Chiefs. I don't care about all this other
so-
bullshit.
All right, so let's go ahead and real quick. Chiefs Colts coming up this weekend at noon kickoff. So this is a game I'm excited for because I'm a big Jonathan Taylor fan, and so I'm curious to see what we do defensively to corral him. And I do like our linebackers against the run. Between Tranquil, Leo Chenal, Nick Bolton, all of them are really, really good run defenders. But unfortunately, I didn't bring up any defensive linemen because Brett Veach fucked all of them up. But anyways, so I fully expect Jonathan Taylor to get to the second level of the defense a few times. But with that said, we're facing also a former Bengals defensive coordinator there at the Indianapolis Colts. And they've had a pretty good time this year. I mean, overall, they've done a good job. And I think that they've given Mahomes a fit for sure. Chiefs Colts history has not always been a great thing for the Chiefs. It has been some really rough times and weird outcomes between Chiefs and Colts. I even remember one particular, I think it was like 5 years ago with the Chiefs and Colts, where Byron Pringle was our number one receiver in that game, and the Colts ended up getting the win. It was just a filthy game all around, but the team around Mahomes was not great at the time. And I'm hoping that's not more of the same coming up. But I do think the Chiefs can come out with some energy at least and be ready to fight. And I think Daniel Jones is being carried in a way by the best rushing game in the NFL right now. But anyways, guys, any quick thoughts about Chiefs Colts before I know, Tanner, you're going to beat the game, I think. So tell me what you think, man.
No, I'm excited to see JT, play. I'm just excited to see how we show up and respond after that disappointing couple losses we've had. And if we make the right decisions, right? Talk about the coaching decisions. 3rd and long. Do we blitz? Do we let our line do the work?
Tell you what, when you're facing Daniel Jones, just blitz his ass.
Just blitz him.
You have to.
We should have done it against Bo Nix. 3rd and 1. Are you handing it off to Kareem or are you going to get cute with it? And give it to Rice or some crap. Is Rice going to catch the ball? Is Worthy even going to play this game? He didn't practice today. So, and Kingsley's not practicing either. So we still don't know for him either. So there's some questions that, could be key pieces for us that we may not have, but how do we respond in the wake to this Broncos loss? So, quite frankly, I think the Colts give us a fit. I think the Chiefs give the Colts a fit. Yes. There. You said we weren't mentioning Penn State legends, Hunter, and here you go talking about Tyler Warren. So here you go. But no, it's going to be should be a good game. Should be a good game to watch in general as a football fan. But hopefully, it's not a disappointing game to watch as a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, Tyler Warren's probably going to explode in this game. I find the over-under is very interesting at 50.5.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, it's almost like Vegas knows something that we don't, and you should probably bet the over on that because 50.5 seems like. I mean, the Colts have honestly, the Colts and the Chiefs have a pretty good defense. So why is the point total that high? That just seems weird to me.
Yeah.
Like it's guaranteed to go over. And I think the public would say, "Oh no, you got to bet the under on that because we got two good defenses." And
Well, don't overthink it too much.
There's something wrong with this over under here.
No,
And
I agree.
I think they're probably going over because the Chiefs are pissed. They're tired of people like me talking shit on the whole freaking team and how shitty they are, and now they're going to come out pissed and show us what they're made of. So it could be a high scoring game, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I do know being at Arrowhead is a huge difference. The Chiefs in general, the last especially 3 years, have been much better at Arrowhead compared to being away. So that does take into account a lot. But then again, it's been a weird year, and anything can happen, I think, in this game. And if they can corral Jonathan Taylor, which I think they can, like I said, the linebackers are really good. So I think that's a lot to look forward to. And I think that pressure on Daniel Jones can happen as long if they can force him into that 3rd and 10 situations, obviously. And Steve Spagnuolo is going to learn from what he just did, the mistake he just made against Denver. He's going to learn from that. Steve Spagnuolo is a smart guy. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from him. He should be a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. He should be the first and only that's ever made it as purely a defensive coordinator. And
I guarantee you he's watched that 3rd and 15 play 40 times, maybe 67 times.
I know he's smarter than that, but we had to make fun of him and call him Bob Sutton for a minute, just because that was a Bob Sutton defense he called. And so I'm hoping he's learned his lesson on that and learned that this current team cannot have play calls designed to only rush 3 with a spy in 3rd and 15. So, anyways, do you guys have anything else to say about the game? You want to do game picks? You want to do scores? Okay.
Yeah, I got
roll with it.
31-21, which would be the technically
barely getting
the
over. Yeah.
But I'm going to go 31-21 Chiefs because if that doesn't happen, then my prediction will come true, which is we're done. Give up. Pack it up.
Yeah. All right,
Look
Tanner.
forward to next year.
What you got?
Honestly, my score last week was pretty damn close. And I said being close in the 4th quarter is not what we wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And there it was.
No.
But I have a feeling for this game here.
Take the Colts, man.
Different feeling. And we're going to head back into the 30s for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs often shows up. Things get a little cleaner. So I'm going to go 33 for the Chiefs, 17 for the Colts.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs show up this week.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, at the end of the day, if that happens, it means nothing.
Chiefs didn't prove anything if they do that, but
I hope you're right.
Proves is everybody outside of the division is cakewalk.
All right.
I got to be the negative one. I got to be the naysayer and the devil's advocate a little bit here.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want.
I've got Colts 23-20 over the Chiefs.
Wow.
I think that the Colts defense in particular just shows up big in big moments against Mahomes. I do think they do decent against Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that's the main issue. But I think that at the end of the day, it's the defense against Mahomes that ends up just basically in the situations like, Juwan Taylor commits a penalty, puts us in 3rd and 15, yada, yada, yada. Once again, trickle-down effect of ways to hurt yourself. I see more of that happening. And you're facing, like I said, the former Bengals defensive coordinator who has given Mahomes fits at times in the past, was the coordinator during that ultimate failure in the playoffs a few years ago with the Mahomes. And I think the Colts basically outcoach the Chiefs once more, and we once again see another failure of coaching.
And man, I totally disagree with you, but I hope that you're right, because that's the best thing that could ever happen to the Chiefs right now, is that we get shellacked right now. That's what I want. I want exactly what you just said, but I can't. I'm not going to believe it.
If
man.
what I just said happens,
it.
It's going to be time to change up a lot of shit. And it'll be time to wake up everybody involved.
Well, Matt Nagy gets fired. We know that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to happen easily.
Yeah, that'll be a part of it, part of the process. And we're going to have some new philosophies walking in.
Which he probably sucks anyway. And he probably should have been fired a long time ago. But
well, the offense has always been worse ever since Bieniemy's been gone. So that's just
Tanner,
something to think about.
Tanner, for whatever reason, I'm not going to give you the reason, but for some reason, Tanner does not like Bieniemy. Can you understand why? Can you understand why that's going on right now? I don't understand it, man. I thought Bieniemy was great, man.
I
We
liked
did great.
Bieniemy. Bieniemy
We
was
did
great.
great
In
on
fact,
it.
I left a note at his house one time to Eric
You-
Bieniemy. I did. I left a note at his house. I went to his house and left a note.
Well, we'll have to have a talk with Tanner about that later because
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But
Yeah.
for some reason, Tanner has a thing about that guy, and he doesn't like it.
So we could talk about that a different day.
Maybe it's because that guy likes Chipotle instead of Qdoba or
Freebirds.
Or maybe it's because he likes Whataburger instead of In-N-Out Burger. Maybe that's what it is. Eric Bieniemy likes Whataburger instead of the good. I don't know, man. Tanner doesn't like that guy for whatever reason. But my whole point is like, we're gonna get rid of Nagy, dude. You know it's coming, man.
It's gonna, dude. Why are we even
All right.
talking about it?
I don't
Probably
need to
yeah.
say
All
this
right,
out
all right,
loud.
all right.
Like Nagy is gone.
All
dude.
right.
We're done with freaking Matt Nagy.
All right.
He's done. Oh, outro.
We give our
We're
pick.
done.
No, we're not doing outro yet. We got easy money
No,
picks.
no, but Matt Nagy, for Matt Nagy, it's outro. He's done, man.
Okay.
Unless you win a Super Bowl, you're done.
All right, guys. Anyways, let's get to
Mm.
the final segment of the day. Easy money bet of the week,
Oh man.
which I am actually happy for
That could
once
be a
to be talking
disaster
about
right
because
now.
you know what? The
That's a
full
freaking
turnaround has
disaster.
happened, guys. I have completed the turnaround of the season that I knew I could do, and I have more for you on top of this. And I'm back to my normal form. You know, you always say, you know, you're going to revert back to the mean, right?
Absolutely.
And
man. It's a
I
mathematical game, dude.
am reverting back to my mean, you know, my mean of what I do every single freaking year on this show with easy money picks. And so, anyways, Tanner, go ahead and start us off, or Jason, you can do the intro if you want.
Yeah, no, I
You're saying like the mean, you know, you can revert back to mean unless you're Tanner.
I don't know what
never
Tanner's
reverts
mean is.
back to the
I know
mean,
what my mean is.
because the problem
What
with
does Tanner's
Tanner
mean?
is he likes to bet on college football.
Well, he's done
and
with that.
College basketball, which
He's done with that. He's cut off.
he knows a little bit.
He's like
about
that
those two
drunk. He's like that
sports.
drunk at the bar that just keeps ordering
I'm
more
gonna tell you right
drinks.
now,
we
Tanner.
had to cut him off.
Tanner, now be quiet. I don't want to hear that stuff right now, dude. That was disgusting what you just did. Okay. Now I want you to know I have never done that to you guys on this show ever. I never did what you just did.
Oh, geez.
But that's neither here nor there. The problem with you is that you think you're good at college football and basketball, but you're actually a disaster. And you got lucky
Oh.
1 year, dude. You got lucky 1 freaking year, and you were amazing. And now you think you're going to do that every freaking year, but you were an abject
All right.
disaster on college football, college basketball.
Right.
But
Right.
that's neither here nor there.
All right.
Make your picks.
Let's get ready for the
You mother-
easy money bet of the week.
Make your picks, you motherfrigger.
You're just supposed to do the intro.
that
That's all I asked
was
for.
the intro.
That's all I asked for.
Was it you didn't
I
like?
said, hey, we'll do the intro.
Wait, you're trying to tell me after all we've just been through,
my
you did not like that intro?
You're just supposed to do the intro.
Come on. Easy money bet of the week.
Easy money bets. Hopefully you can still hear me
That's
as
a
I
little bit
switch
better.
screens here. So last week, Mike finished 2 for 2. He had Trevion Henderson anytime touchdown plus
80.
over 80 yards in total offense. He did hit that there. He had the dub there on Thursday Night Football. Bills Bucks over 48.5. That went over as well. So Mike finished 2-0. He's back into form here. JG, Jacksonville +3. The Chargers -99. So Jacksonville took care of business, wallops the Chargers. Not even close. Not even freaking close.
Freaking disaster.
Chargers suck, dude. They're
Like,
awful.
that's
We're
the
gonna
dude.
lose to them somehow. It's awful. JG with his lone dub. Then we switch over to myself. I got myself finally a dub. First dub in 3 weeks, it feels like. It took forever. Winston under 228.5. He had 196, I think it was, or maybe 201, one of the two. But he did finish the under against Green Bay. Henderson 78.5 rushing yards. You know, it's fine. People called him the, next LaDainian Tomlinson after the game last week. Quite frankly, to me, he's a big old fat bum.
Oh,
Who
geez.
can't- You
Yeah.
rushed 16
Yeah.
times,
Wow.
and you rushed for 58 yards.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nobody can
You
score
just-
touchdowns.
You
with
just
that.
calm
dude.
down, Tanner. Just because
What
you
a
lost
bum,
your bet,
dude.
dude.
We love to
Over
talk about
78
Don't
and a half
understand he's more
rushing
versatile
yards.
than that.
Over 78 rushing yards and still couldn't hit it in 16
You fell
attempts
for the drift,
against
man.
the
I can't
Jets.
stand
The
bums.
Jets. What a bum. Over
Oh,
78 and a half.
dude.
Tanner.
Speaking about another bum team here, back to my college football bets. The reason I'm done betting college football now. South Florida. I'm pretty sure I broke you guys down the stats going into this game here. I don't even know where USF was the entire
It
game.
sucked.
They're awful. Navy killed them. -10 did not hit, so we had 2 L's. So
What's your record, man? What's our record? Do we suck?
guys
my
are
One my
bad.
record.
Jason's 5-7 for the year.
Ooh, that's not too bad.
Mike's
Not
8
too
and
bad.
9 for the year, and I'm 7 for 15. Brings us the Buffoons to 20 and 31 for the year.
Wait, what was your
Which
record?
is
I
pretty
forgot.
bad.
7
But
and 15.
Oh, good gosh.
so guys, I just for reference, I started off 1-7 on this year, and I'm now 8 and 9. So I have reverted back to my mean, but even then, it's not all the way there because my mean is like 60%, guys.
I have the cure for Tanner.
He's never going to listen to me. But what he should do right now is just switch solely to the NBA. NBA
You only just ignore
That is the
everything.
worst freaking bad advice right
And
now.
that's why you're gonna lose.
I'm not even at
That's
my
where
computer.
you're gonna
where I
lose
have all my
more.
data in front of me.
You should do the exact opposite of what you think you should do. And that's why I'm telling you, man. If you focus on the NBA, you'd probably do better than what you're doing right now.
All I know, he's not doing college football, right? So
No, he's not.
Okay.
Do that bullshit.
So then, all right. Anyways, who wants to kick it off?
I'll
You
do
know,
it.
you
do it.
really make me want to bet college football now.
Don't.
Because you
Do
said
not.
that.
Do not.
Oh, you want? Oh, yes.
The way you say it.
So you want to go up though because you're so pathetic that you're just eventually going to win.
Is that's your?
Well, the good
Betting
news is,
against UMass.
Tanner,
That's,
look,
that's
many
exactly what I told Mike last
how many
week.
picks do you have for tonight? How many picks?
I got one.
No, if you do 6-7 picks right now, you'd be back at 500 if you get them all right.
It's true, but I'm not on my computer to do 6 to 7 picks. So
Just saying, that's an
I
idea.
need to be on my computer to develop those 6 to 7 picks. But you can catch me Saturday morning, and I'll give you 6 to 7 picks that you like. So
All right.
All right, boys and girls. So I'm going to go first here
All right.
because nobody else wants to talk about this.
No, I want you to go first.
Easy money by the weight, boys and girls. I've got the Cowboys versus the Eagles, and we all know who the better team is. We all know that the Eagles are better than the Cowboys, but you know how it goes in these divisional matchups. These games can be weird, and they can also be rigged every once in a while. So I like the Cowboys here. They could put up a lot of points on any defense. Eagles have a good defense. I feel like the Cowboys can win this game if Dak doesn't turn the ball over, which is a stretch. But I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here. Plus 3.5. Divisional game. It's bound to happen sooner or later, man. The Cowboys have to win.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to go next, Tanner?
Yep.
All right, I'm going next. I've got 2 picks for you guys on this one. So funny enough, Jason, you brought it up here just a few minutes ago, but I'm going to be part of the supposed public of Chiefs and Colts at 50.5. I'm taking the under in this game of Chiefs and Colts 50.5. And yeah, for me, it's the reason being primarily is that clock's going to be running the whole game. There's not going to be a lot of time wasted. I think what I mean, drop passes. You're having the Colts who have the best running game in the league right now, Jonathan Taylor, which means the clock's going to be running. You have the Chiefs who are traditionally efficient with the passing game. And I think at the end of the day, these are 2 teams that amount to a game that's going to be shorter than the average in most situations. And I think the clock will be consistently rolling. You're not going to have a lot of drop passes, a lot of situations like that, in my opinion. And 50.5, man, is just freaking high for these 2 teams. And I don't like it. I know you said what you said, but I will be part of the general public probably of
The other thing that I would say on
Because I
that
don't know why
game,
he's
and
laughing.
I respect your pick on that, and I know why you're going with the under. It's just that this is the Super Bowl right now.
no, I know.
And I know you guys you guys think I'm
I know.
negative on the Chiefs, and I am. I'm totally negative on them. The Chiefs are a horrible team, but that's why they're going to view this as their Super Bowl, because if they
Well,
lose this game, the season is over.
Think about it like this.
And that's the reason why I would bet against you on that, and they're going to take the over.
Even if the
on that.
Chiefs win the game 30-20, it's still an under. I just think 50.5 is way too much for this game. And I don't honestly believe in the Colts offense that much. I think they've played a really weak schedule in a lot of ways and been able to inflate some numbers here and there. Not to take anything away from JT, but of course, but I think this is going to be a game where the time is just going to be dwindling really quickly, and it's going to be going off quick, and it's not going to leave time on the board for us to put up 45 points or whatever.
It's crazy,
that's my
man.
thought.
Like I think it's. I understand why you made that bet, but I also understand the line, the way that Vegas made it at 50.5.
So I'll be interested to see what happens for sure. But that's what I'm going with on this one for one of them. My second one is the opposite. I have for Sunday Night Football, Bucks versus Rams, 49.5. I love the over in that game. I love both quarterbacks. I'm a big fan of both Baker Mayfield and Matthew Stafford. I've talked about that in this show many, many times. So, no, I'm not. So,
it's rigged.
I like the over in this game, 49.5. The Bucks, by the way, are always in an over situation. They're always behind this year. Mayfield's like always playing from behind, trying to make game-winning drives. The defense this year has not been great for the Buccaneers, and it's going to be more of the same in this situation. But the thing is, they're both downfield passers. They're both, first of all, the Rams with a great offense this year, and you have Baker Mayfield who never gives up any freaking play and is always trying to make plays downfield. And I think that's going to be going on as usual. So.
The only reason why I don't trust you on that Rams Bucks pick is just because it's too freaking easy, man.
Well, you also didn't trust me on Trayvon Henderson last week. That fucked your ass the next day, didn't it?
That's fine, but this Bucks.
I remember
Rams,
you talking about that. You said he's not going to get a touchdown. Literally got a touchdown in the first 5 minutes.
The Bucks Rams game is just too easy. It's too fucking obvious.
You know what I said 10 minutes ago? I said, don't overthink it. Don't hurt yourself.
I didn't overthink it. I said
I'm saying about the other thing you were talking about.
The referees are going to easily find a way to rig this fucking game and just throw flags all over the place. And they'll figure out a way to get under.
Hey, flags are great. Flags actually
They are listening to the show right now as we speak, Mike.
Flags help an offense. I hope you understand that. Flags are actually good for an offense.
You know that the NFL listens to this show, right? And they know that you just took the over.
They listen to all of it.
And they're saying, well,
they're worried about me and my $10 I'm going to place on this bet.
They should worry about you because the Bucks and Rams need to hit the under. But I respect you, and I understand why you made that pick. Same thing I did with the Chiefs and the Colts. So I hope you're right, man. Hey, man, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong in terms of that.
I don't want to be cocky or anything. But I'm just saying, like, I've made the comeback. I was 1-7, and here I am now. And so
that's what she said.
I had to make the comeback.
You did make the comeback.
So I want you guys. I'm encouraging. I'm proud of you guys to make the comeback.
You get full credit for that, and I hope to God that I'm wrong. I just don't trust that freaking Rams and Bucks game, dude. There's something's going to happen in there, and they're going to fuck it over.
All right. Well,
pardon my French, by the way. Pardon my French on the.
Would you say the F word?
No, I don't know, man.
This is PG-13, guys.
Yeah.
Tanner, what do you got?
I made a mistake, man. I made a mistake. I apologize for that.
Bills -6 tomorrow.
What? You like the Bills? Starsky loves you, man. Starsky is like a big fan of the show. He loves you right now.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. Bills -6. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all I'm saying. Not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of Bills.
Trap,
but
that's a trap. No, that's a trap game. Who are they playing, Tanner? Do you know who they're playing? That's a trap.
So, Tanner, you only got one pick. You're not going to try to climb your way out of this hole?
I do not have my setup. I don't have my site. I don't have time. I didn't have time to look up my stuff that I need to. I do a process like I do on Sundays, my Sunday and Saturday show. So
you did -6, bro.
You want me to tell you why that's a trap?
It's because Houston.
CJ Stroud's not even going to play. Backup quarterback.
Too easy.
It's too easy.
-6 under a touchdown for the Bills.
I think
Houston.
I like Tanner's pick actually. On this one.
Nah, Houston will cover that easily. No problem.
But no, today
Rigged.
I don't
Rigged.
because I was in Wichita. I did not look up bets. I didn't do nothing.
A lot of these games
So-
are rigged, man. You guys understand that.
Based
You
on
got
what
it
I've
fixed.
heard here, I would suggest not doing a buffoons parlay on this one. I know Starsky used to love doing that.
That's
and
probably the best thing you could
luckily,
ever
he
do, man.
stopped doing the buffoons parlays.
You could
but
probably make a lot of money right now if
If you did that right.
I'm not doing a college pick, Gallon. I can't do it right now.
Thank you.
I can't do it. I
Tanner, I
can't.
am.
the
Why-
world.
The world thanks you, Tanner. for
Tanner,
doing
why
that.
is the guy who started off 1-7 40% of the wins in this group right here?
No?
As the
Positive
season
regression, man.
develops
Come on.
and you
had
figure
positive
things out.
regression, and you get full credit for that. Nobody's going to take that. away
I
from
want-
you. You did an
I-
amazing job, man.
Look, I'm a supporter of all of us here. I want us all to be 100% every single time. And the ultimate goal every single year is 60% for the buffoons. And so if Tanner feels like he needs to cut off the college bets, then that's probably a good thing. But at the same time, like one bet, that's all you're going to give us
he
today?
needs to cut. Tanner needs to cut off college bets for the
Yeah,
rest of
I
his
don't
life.
have my setup. I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at bets this week.
right.
This is what I got.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
You guys got any thoughts on National Play Monopoly Day? You got any favorite board games out there that you want to play? I like the Monopoly Deal game, and I also like Uno, Pizzeria Uno. You guys like any board games? What's your favorite board game?
Yeah.
Like,
I played a lot of Monopoly.
did you really?
I played a lot of Monopoly.
Do you understand
a
that today
NFL
is
Monopoly.
National Monopoly Day, November the 19th?
That's fine. I played a lot
What
of
did
Monopoly.
you take from that game? Did that give you some
Life skills. What life skills did you learn?
you know,
from
funny
playing that
enough, yeah.
game when you
It
were
seemed
a
like
child?
if you just owned more properties, then you were going to win every time. But
Did you ever try to like rip people off in terms of doing deals and things like that, or were
I
you
would
trying
try
be
to. Yeah, I
honest
mean,
with-
I was trying to rip people off. It was in the game, man. I wanted to win the game at the end of the day.
You know, I feel like Monopoly is a metaphor for life. Like you're either going to try to rip people off, or you're going to be honest and try to give. them
No,
credit.
when it comes to the
And
game
much
like
the
that,
same, you try to give me fair deals. You know, you and I have done some
no, it's-
fantasy
you
deals.
play
over the last
to
couple
win
of
the
days.
game. God damn it!
But you gave me some fair deals, and I appreciate you for that. And
You
know,
accepted
a lot
them.
of people when they play Monopoly, they just try to rip people off, and they're not trying
Yeah.
to play fair. And that's
Like I said,
feel
Herm,
like-
Herm said it best. You play to win the game.
that's a good point.
That's the way you should play Monopoly.
Yeah.
You know,
I
should be
think
kind of
that's,
cut through. You know.
Monopoly is a great game. Tanner, did you have a favorite board game that you liked to play when you were a kid, or did you just sit there and drink beers when you were like 5 years old? Or... No, you probably didn't start drinking beers until you were 9. You were 9 or 10 years old, I think, when you started.
He was
drinking
probably
beers.
6 or 7.
No, you probably didn't give a shit about board games, did you? What did you play? Did you play Candyland, Tanner? You
I
probably
did.
played.
Candyland was awesome,
Yeah.
by the way.
You did? Oh, I love that game. And my daughter cut me off like 2 years ago. She won't let me play anymore, and I'm pissed because she's only 8 years old. She's not going to let me play Candyland with her. What else did you play, man? Did you ever play Uno or any of the other games like? Well, did they ever have any like sexual games or anything like that, Tanner? Or was that? Oh no, that was Mike that used to play the Ouija board or whatever.
The
the
Ouija
hell that-
board.
I don't know what
You
the
said
hell he's-
sexual game.
I didn't. It's the same thing. They're all the same
I
freaking
did.
thing, man. It's fake,
I did
fake
have
bullshit. I don't give a fuck.
Sexopoly. I did have Sexopoly at one point, which is literally just Monopoly, but like this porn star gimmick.
But it wasn't a Ouija board, was it?
No, I had a Ouija board too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've definitely
Was
done
that your favorite game?
Ouija board.
Yeah.
I didn't really consider it a game or whatever, but like no, I mean I didn't like
It's a
pull it
board
out
game.
and
It's
play.
the same fucking thing. You know,
Sure,
yeah.
it's the same idea, I guess, but I never like played it as like a game. It's not like you win.
Tanner-
You don't
Tanner
win or
doesn't-
lose.
I just wish you guys could tell me your favorite board games of all time. And nobody.
Dude,
he
I
can't
had
even
the
stop
I had the
laughing,
NFL
man.
Monopoly game. Unfortunately, it was the same year the Broncos won the Super Bowl over the Packers, and so that was all over the board. But that was my favorite game growing up was the NFL Monopoly game.
I just played cards.
Also,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I just
did
played
like-
freaking cards, man.
I did like Candyland and Jumanji.
Candyland was awesome.
It was like a
man.
Jumanji board game. Yeah.
But I tell you what, man. To this day, the reason why I play cards, you guys know I'm a card player, is because that's all my family ever did with me is play freaking cards. So that's why I turned into well, what do we want to say? I'm a semi-pro. I'm not professional yet, but I probably will be soon. Yeah, I like to play the card games and Monopoly and all this bullshit and your Ouija board. I've never played the Ouija board, Mike.
You want to play the Ouija board?
No, I don't.
I'll invite
actually.
you
I
over to
don't want
play it.
I don't want to play that bullshit.
I would love
Tanner
to.
probably play that bullshit with you if you want him to.
That's I don't think
You
Tanner
want
would
to play the
be into it
Ouija
either.
board?
Tanner, fuck it.
There was a game I played with working Target called Cthulhu. It was actually really
Ooh.
fun. It was a fun game. I will give you. That's my favorite game.
Maybe we should
Play
play
that
that
on the show next time. We can all just get
together and play for our fans, all of our fans.
Playing that on the show with you guys.
We have a lot of
fans.
If you didn't notice on this show, they want to see you play Monopoly with me. Can you play Monopoly with me, Tanner?
I'll get the boardwalk. You did it.
Trade with me earlier today. You tried to get me to do a trade with you for who was it? Joe Burrow or CJ Stroud? I can do that same deal with you on Monopoly. Can I give you Boardwalk for what is it, Pennsylvania Avenue or all that bullshit, or Jalen Hurts and all of his, stupid fucking Philadelphia Eagles bullshit? I don't care. All right, man. Probably time to sign us out of this shit because we went too long with the what is it, board games we started talking about?
Yeah,
we had fun with that.
That was a good topic. Okay.
All right, boys and girls.
All right, guys. Well, besides board games, any final thoughts we got here, Tanner? What you got? Any final thought?
Did, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
He lost
Fair
his
enough.
shit, dude.
I feel like a lot of us lose our brains at this point in the show. So
Well, when the Chiefs are this piss poor, your brain is going to start doing a lot of different things, and that's understandable. I get it.
yeah, the good news is I get to drive to North Kansas City tomorrow, so I can listen to this bullshit on the way up there. So I'll see how we sound, I guess. So those of you listening that have stuck around this long, I appreciate you all for being loyal listeners, of course, and those who are listening the day after. You guys are also freaking awesome. So I know a few of you out there are waiting for like the day after to listen in, which is probably a good move at times. And anyways, guys, looking forward to the weekend, of course, and Tanner is gonna be at the Chiefs game, having a good old time with his bro. Tanner, can we give a shout out, by the way? Is that okay? Do you want to do it? All right, guys, can we announce it? All right. So those of you who don't know, I guess, Mr. Connor Dawson, former assistant hitting coach of the Milwaukee Brewers and Seattle Mariners, has now joined the Kansas City Royals as hitting coach, as assistant hitting coach. I think he's going to be splitting time along the way. But
That's
anyways,
not true. Are you serious?
we want to congratulate Connor Dawson as being hitting coach of the Kansas City Royals. Connor Dawson, Tanner's brother, is hitting coach of the Kansas City Royals now.
Connor Dawson, you might be my hero. Probably not, but you might be my hero right now because I just can't believe what the hell you just said.
We are very proud of him.
That's freaking awesome.
We're very proud of him.
That's freaking awesome, bro.
Excited to see what he can do to help out the team.
Unbelievable.
He did amazing things helping out with the Milwaukee Brewers. I feel like they really overachieved for their talent. They did, no offense to the talent there, but I think Connor was probably a good part of it. And I think having his mind involved is going to be freaking awesome for the Royals. And now, if I feel like when I go to games, every time I see like Jack Caglione, for instance, can he fix Jack? If you can fix Jack Caglione, then he's our hero. Fix Jack Caglione, and he's our hero.
Fucking insane.
And
man.
so, anyways, we're proud of Connor, and we're excited to see what he can do with the Royals. So,
yes, that's very
awesome, man. That's awesome.
Which, by the way, he had a podcast with us years ago. So if you want to find some grainy footage online, it's on there somewhere.
Yeah,
and now he's not allowed to come on
here ever again because we.
No, he's not.
Like I said, we're always PG. We're PG on the show, but he's still not allowed to come.
Connor has been banned from coming on.
What's classified as PG-13? Is it 1?
PG-13, you get one F-bomb.
You get MFs?
No, you don't get it.
Well, this was not a PG-13 show, ladies and gentlemen. So
we're fixing it though.
We're not a PG.
We're rated M for mature.
Honestly, Connor, if Connor comes on the show, he can fix our show the same way that he's about to fix the Royals.
What was NC-17? Tanner, what's NC-17? What does that mean? I never knew. It was like that was like a you know what that means, Jason? NC-17? When it comes to
Well, I would say no cocks allowed, something like that.
That's
I don't
not.
know.
I don't think that's what it means.
All right, we're getting out of here.
I'm pretty sure that's what it
We'll
means.
catch you guys back next week before Thanksgiving. We'll be live here. It's the crew and
Anyways, I will see you all on the next one.
Outro.
guys.